Have you ever sat in a room with your team, listening to people talk, but not really understanding why you are there? We have all been in meetings like this. They feel long, boring, and like a complete waste of time. You look at the clock, hoping it will move faster. You see your coworkers looking at their phones or doodling in their notebooks. These are the signs of a bad meeting. It is a common problem in many companies, both big and small. A meeting is supposed to be a place for teamwork, decisions, and progress. But often, it becomes the opposite. It becomes a place where energy goes to die. The purpose of a meeting should be clear to everyone who walks into the room. It is not just a time to get together and chat. It is a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used correctly. When it is not, it does not just waste an hour of our day. It creates bigger problems for the team. Let me tell you about a team meeting I once witnessed. It was for a project team working on a new marketing campaign. The team leader, a man named Tom, sent an email that just said, "Team meeting 10 a.m. conference room B." There was no other information. When the 8 team members arrived, they sat around the big table, sipping their coffee and making small talk. Tom walked in a few minutes late, looking a little stressed. He sat down and said, "Okay, let's talk about the campaign." The room was silent. No one knew where to start because no one knew what they were there to talk about specifically. One person, Sarah from the design team, finally spoke up. "Are we talking about the logo ideas?" she asked. Before Tom could answer, Mark from sales jumped in. "I think we need to talk about the budget first. I heard there might be cuts." This started a completely different conversation. For the next 20 minutes, people debated the budget, with some people getting worried and others saying it was just a rumor. Tom, the leader, did not stop them. He just let the conversation go wherever it wanted, like a boat without a rudder floating aimlessly in the sea. The original purpose, if there ever was one, was completely lost. After the budget debate fizzled out with no conclusion, Tom tried to get things back on track. All right, he said. "Let's get back to the campaign." But by then, the energy was gone. He asked, "Any new ideas?" Only Sarah and Mark spoke. The other 6 team members just sat there quietly. A few of them were clearly checking emails on their laptops. They were present in body, but their minds were somewhere else entirely. The hour ended, and Tom stood up. "Okay, good talk, everyone. Let's meet again next week." Everyone quickly gathered their things and left the room. As they walked out, you could hear them asking each other, "So what did we decide? And what am I supposed to be doing now?" The answer was nothing. Nothing was decided. No actions were assigned. An entire hour of 8 people's time was spent, and the team was no closer to launching the campaign than they were before the meeting started. It was, in every sense, a complete and total failure. The story of Tom's meeting highlights 3 classic problems that kill productivity. The first and most important problem was the lack of an agenda. An agenda is a plan for the meeting. It tells everyone why they are there and what topics will be discussed. Tom's email had no agenda, so his team walked in blind. They did not know what to prepare for or what to expect. Without this simple roadmap, the meeting was doomed from the start. The second problem was the poor structure, or the lack of rules for the conversation. When Mark from sales brought up the budget, he completely derailed the meeting. A good leader, or even a good team, would have stopped this. Tom should have said, "Mark, that's an important topic, but it's not on our agenda for today." The third major failure was the limited participation. In a meeting of 8 people, only 2 really spoke. Why? Because the meeting was not managed in a way that invited everyone to contribute. The quiet ones were never asked for their opinion. These 3 problems are all connected. The lack of an agenda leads to a lack of structure. A lack of structure allows a few people to dominate the conversation. And when a few people dominate, most of the team disengages and remains silent. What was the final outcome of that marketing meeting? The result was total confusion. The team left with more questions than answers. This confusion does not just stay inside the conference room. It spills out into the team's work for the rest of the week. Beyond the immediate confusion, failed meetings like this one damage something much more important: team morale. When people feel their time is being wasted, they become cynical. They start to believe that leadership is disorganized and that the team is not capable of achieving its goals. They lose trust in the process and in each other. To fix this, we must remember the simple principles that were ignored. Every meeting must have a clear written agenda that is sent out beforehand. Every meeting needs a leader who can maintain structure and keep the conversation focused on that agenda. And every meeting must be a place where all voices are heard, not just the loudest ones. So the next time you find yourself dreading an upcoming meeting, ask yourself why. Think about the story of Tom's team and the problems they faced. My question to you is this: have you ever been in a meeting just like that one? A meeting that went nowhere and left you feeling more confused than when you started?